Now batting for the Phillies. Yeah, baby. Mosifus.
He likes sleeping out on top of the cars. He'd drink beer out of a mason jar and he'd climb up on everyone in bed.
I'm not going to pretend like I know this song.
Yeah, so we felt like that was a good song to come into today to switch it up a little bit, you know, from the Nosebleeds. Vince is joining us via satellite from his apartment in Newtown Square. No, I'm joking.
No.
He lives in Fox Chase, and Patrick
Oh,
O'Leary's
Jesus
here.
Christ. You don't got to give out my exact location.
Listen, man.
We're doxing you.
Listen, that's not necessarily a dox.
If anybody would like to swat Vince, listen
Here's
for
his
address
address
at the
and-
program.
Yeah. Listen.
Happy
It's
New Year,
kinda-
everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all the things.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Yep. I don't leave anybody out.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Yeah, Kanye just doesn't like a certain group of people, and I don't know why. It's kind of weird, but you know, let Kanye do whatever he's doing. I mean,
welcome 2023.
yeah, that's a nice way to welcome us in. All right, I don't even want to break down the Cowboys game because that happened so long ago.
Yeah,
It's
it's
totally not
it's
worth
old
it.
news.
it's just doesn't
Let's
matter.
instead break down the shit show that I got to witness firsthand.
Oh yeah, and some people are calling you the mush. That's what some people are saying that.
I'm honestly
sounds
starting to
great.
feel that.
Yeah, because I mean, there's no way they lose. Gardner Minshew be damned, whatever that fuck his name is. You don't lose to the horrible New Orleans Saints with Andy Dalton, who made his debut in 1994, and in your house.
They've
You
had
just-
they've had a good couple past weeks.
yeah, dude. They
Okay,
have
man.
a
That's great and
they
all,
have a
but, like-
running back that's throwing passes and shit. That's not a team you should lose to. But
Well,
Taysom
don't we have a running back that throws passes?
sometimes I
They
guess.
have a fantastic defense.
It depends on how you label them.
Yeah,
I
dude,
mean,
their only bright spot, honestly, has been their defense and Chris Olave.
They don't have Linvilla Orchards
Lattimore.
and Dominican Sue.
Yeah, well, yeah, their defense. And
Oh,
I'm
by
saying
the way-
on offense, their only real bright spot has been Chris Olave.
By the way, shout out to Lattimore who made a nice. I didn't know he was a wide receiver, but Minshew just really just hit him perfectly,
right where he wanted it.
right where he. I mean, and it was the most beautiful pass I've ever seen. So, and it was a great reception, perfect route in for the touchdown. Oh wait, that was a pick six, and Gardner Minshew's a freaking idiot.
this game was now. I've only been to a handful of Eagles game, like literally 5 or 6. This is the second time I've seen a backup quarterback play and just absolutely shit the bed. The first time was Mark Sanchez back in like 2014 against the Cowboys.
The Sanchez. So Vince really is the mush.
The Sanchez.
Holy shit.
Now was that a
Especially when it comes to backup QBs. You know what, Vince? You are never allowed to go to an Eagles game if a backup QB.
Gardner
Yeah.
Minshew just stinks.
No, I
And
mean
we
he's
had-
gonna, and I'm sick of the talking heads in this city that are on the radio saying, "Hey, listen, he's probably gonna be a starter in the league next
Yeah,
year."
he just threw that in the trash.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I mean, like he had a chance to maybe somebody take a flyer on.
I mean,
but-
listen, you're sitting there and you're watching this game. He was terrible in the pocket. He couldn't move. He refused to run. He overthrew people, just missed flat out. The only throw he hit all day was the one to AJ.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Everything,
I mean,
every other aspect of the game for Gardner Minshew was terrible.
it just kind of sucks that like the whole season is pretty much coming down to
Yeah.
the Giants game.
And the
I
part
mean,
that
that-
sucks is that you actually have to play your starters this week.
Yeah,
too.
you have to. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I listened to the Sirianni presser today, and he was basically doing the whole gamesmanship thing, which didn't work against New Orleans last week. Didn't work the week before that against the Cowboys, where it just the gamesmanship thing is weird, where he won't give you a straight answer. But
No, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
I know, but he's a little too overboard with it, and it doesn't work. Frankly, it hasn't worked in months for the Eagles. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm not the biggest Sirianni guy, as you could tell, but he just annoys me. By the way, he's a fraud because like
Where's this coming from?
No
Uh,
idea.
What?
Because I'm watching his press conference, and he.
Oh wait, the Colts game. Yeah. No.
No.
Oh, true.
No,
He does
no,
hate-
no, no.
he
I
does
thought
hate
we
Nick
learned to
Sirianni.
not care about press conferences.
I mean, dude, I try to get something when my franchise quarterback is literally like we don't know what the hell's happening with him. We need him to start this.
Seamus,
game.
why would he tell us like other teams are watching?
He could have been a little better in what he was trying to describe to us. Like you have to be a little more transparent.
If you're going to criticize Nick Sirianni for anything, can you please just criticize the game and not the fucking stupid press conference?
But I just want Jalen to come back, and it's like he's being elusive about it, which I kind of get, but it's like we know that he participated in a limited capacity today in the walkthrough. We know
did
that
all last week too, pretty much.
Yeah, so I mean, like, hopefully that's a sign that Jalen Hurts is going to be your starting quarterback because we need him so bad, and at least CJGJ is going to come back, and whatever the hell that Mr. Irrelevant, that Quinn, who's
Robert
horrible.
Quinn,
I mean, like, I don't even. He's a waste of space on the roster.
And Josh Sweat seems to be all right.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope they don't play him. I'm going to be honest.
yeah.
I agree. I'm just happy he's like apparently all right.
Well,
Yeah.
Nick was saying earlier that like it's going to be like he's going to be evaluated in the next couple of days, and they'll see where they're at with him. But yeah, I mean, I rather not start him if you don't have to.
Another underratedly bad aspect of that game was the offensive line. They sucked.
Yeah, they did, especially
That
the
not
defense
even
when we
the
actually
not
did
even
play so
protection,
well.
penalties.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
they
the
killed
penalties, and I mean the tough part too is like everybody was saying like, well, are they just off with Minshew's cadence? It's like, well, they didn't have any issues with it last week. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
And Dallas said they had no problem
And
with
you'd
that.
think it'd be harder there because one, you might have to go on. I think they were on a silent count in Dallas.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's like louder, it's inside, it's dome. But how does that really like? If you were perfectly fine with it last week, what are you doing this
Yeah,
week?
it's not like he changed as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. But I mean, obviously, like, I don't know if you guys want to like break down the game or whatever. It was kind of a forgettable game.
Yeah, not really.
On all aspects, it was forgettable.
Vince wants to forget about it immediately. That's why he drank so much during it.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry, Vince, that you had to witness that disaster.
Well, I mean, it just sucked because like the AJ touchdown happened, and like suddenly I convinced myself. I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those games where they play horrible, but they end up winning in the end.
Yeah,
And
I thought
then
they had a chance after that
Gardner,
play.
listen, AJ Brown said it himself after the game. Gardner made one look and went with that look on that last throw. He stared down AJ Brown, who was being covered by one of the best, maybe a top 5 corner in the whole league.
Yep. Yeah, no, it was kind of a nightmare. But it was kind of a nightmare. But if you're looking forward, Vince, to Sunday against the Giants,
I'm looking
optimistic.
forward to it, as in I'll preview it, but I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not happy.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of a shame that like your awesome season, which was a great start to the season, is going to come down to this. And honestly, I think if they lose and you go down to Tampa for a game again for a rematch, I'm not sure they win.
Oh, dude, there's no Super Bowl run without the home field advantage.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You need, if they want to go to the Super Bowl, they have to win on Sunday, lock it up, and it's what, their second or third opportunity to lock it up. It would be
straight, yeah.
third straight. So you got to get the job done.
It's just absolutely crazy. That's the position we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I thought that the Dallas game wasn't going to mean anything. Like at one point in the season, like I didn't think it would mean anything. Meaning like we still need to win games.
It didn't.
But I thought that we would have had the division clinched by then.
I'm getting nervous because I'm pretty sure I said on this podcast if we lost all 3 games, I would kill myself, and like I'm starting to sweat.
Yeah, I mean, did you write it in blood or like what?
Yeah,
like
I have a contract he signed.
you have a contract?
Yeah.
All right, so if Vince
really
made a
unfortunate for
contract
Vince.
in order to kill himself, if the Eagles lose 3 in a row to end the season, he's either got to come through or he has to like pay up.
Yeah.
Like
The
there's
good-
no like
There will be. I will sue him.
yeah. Either way, there's going to be blood.
The good news is
it'll be a bloodbath.
I do think the Giants are going to rest their guys. I know a lot of people are going with
Why
this
would
narrative.
They're going to get arrested.
They're going to rest their guys.
I thought you said they're going to arrest their guys.
I know a lot of people are going with the narrative of like, the Eagles screwed them a few years ago from getting in the playoffs, so they're going to go out for revenge. But like screwing the Eagles,
It's a completely different team, by the way.
Right,
It's completely
plus-
different.
plus screwing the
staff.
Eagles only helps the Cowboys. So like
Yeah.
either way, you're helping a division rival.
Yeah. What like? Are you optimistic about Sunday, or
Yeah,
it all depends on
especially-
Jalen? Like, do you think we could beat the Giants without Jalen? You think we could beat their
Yes.
backups? I think we should be able
Yeah,
to.
easily.
Yeah, but are we going to do this
honestly-
whole song and dance? We just did this with the Saints. If
Yeah, but
Jalen
if-
doesn't play, I have no faith.
If Gardner Minshew puts up 40 in Dallas, I'm pretty sure he could beat the Giants backups. You know what I
I'm
mean?
just
It's not like
saying-
the Saints. The
Oh,
Saints
yeah.
were trying. They were playing for the playoffs. You know, they were giving it their all.
Yeah, if it's the
Saints
backups,
are
you're
in
right.
desperation mode right now.
No,
too,
they
so it's like
absolutely.
The Eagles weren't necessarily in desperation mode.
Yeah, no.
The other thing too, I think, is if we're playing against their backups, it's a wash. But also, if you're playing against your backups and you do play Jalen, get a big lead in the first half and then just pull them
And just pull
Let it
them.
ride.
And I saw John Barchard, who made an interesting point on Twitter today. He said, you could start Gardner Minshew and have Jalen active
Yeah.
as a QB too. But then he also went on to say, "Yeah, but you're risking injuring Jalen in a loss."
Yeah. at
Like,
that
so
point,
it's just
not worth it.
it's a tough situation to be in, but they made this bed. It's not Jalen's fault because I mean it is, but it isn't. He got injured. Injuries happen. But the Eagles didn't play well enough in his absence where, you could give your starter that break, which would have been nice to let Jalen rest and including the bye so he's all fresh for the playoffs. But it didn't end up like that and they need him.
Yeah.
It is crazy though, like Vince said. Like it's kind of crazy to like think about like how the season started.
This whole season, it's crazy that at one point we were like what 8-1, not whatever we were. I forget, only 13-1, whatever the fuck it was, and we had no cushion. The
Right.
whole
Yeah.
season has been like, oh, the Eagles are the last undefeated team in the league, and they only have a 1-game lead in like the 1 seed.
Well, I remember, I think it was maybe about a month ago now, you were kind of like sounding the alarm bells like, listen, I'm not saying, I'm upset with the season. Look at our record, but it's getting weird for the 1 seed right now.
Yeah, I
And
got very
you were
upset after our first loss to the Commanders because I said that was an extremely winnable game. And when you have such a slim lead for the 1 seed and in your division, you cannot drop winnable games.
And that would have been the difference maker, wouldn't it have been? If they won
Yes.
that game,
Yeah.
we would have had the 1 seed already. It would have been wrapped up.
And
And
at
that
the
loss sticks out.
at the time, everyone was like, "Oh, well, of course you want to stay undefeated. One loss isn't the end of the world." But like when you're that tightly contested, you want to win games that you have opportunities to win.
Yeah, when you're talking about seeding, it's a different. It's not saying, "Oh, it's a bad season." You're talking about your path to the Super Bowl
Exactly.
being easy or difficult.
This is not a normal year. In any other year, if you were like 12-1, you'd usually have like a 2 to 3 game lead.
Right. Yeah. No, it's a weird season in the NFL overall.
Yeah.
And I think we do obviously have to address the biggest story in the world right now. That Monday night game, it was horrifying.
devastating.
It was horrifying to watch.
Yeah.
We were all watching it, not together obviously, but just like texting in group chats about it. It was
Well, the whole
It
world
was
was
such
watching.
an-
I mean, this was such the highly anticipated game.
Yeah, it was such a great matchup. ESPN Monday night game, like the whole thing, and then that was the most brutal thing I've ever witnessed in my entire life.
I mean, that was probably the craziest moment in sports, like maybe ever.
Yeah, it's just like you see like all the cliches like what people are saying right now in these times like people do, but it really does put like sports into perspective and like life into perspective because like we do and again cliche but we do look at these guys like they're like literal like robots like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
we there are fantasy players or whatever like we don't
We look
see
at them as
them
numbers.
yeah. And for that to happen, a life and death, not an ACL, not an arm, not a hamstring, but literally, this man's heart stopped on the field in the middle of the game. And
Yeah.
thank God for those healthcare workers that were there, the EMS and everything else, who worked to save his life and revived him. And now he has a chance to survive because of them. It's horrible. I feel
Yeah.
so bad for him to learn about him like as a humanitarian, the humanitarian that he is, like all around good guy, PA guy, pit guy. I know he's close with Miles Sanders and somebody else on the Eagles. He's boys with like Miles and like one other guy, I forget. But I saw Shady McCoy tweet about him earlier today too,
Shady's a pick guy.
fellow pit guy. But I mean, dude, Damar Hamlin, man, we're sending our best to him and his family. I can't even imagine. I think about his poor mom, like she was there.
Yeah.
Like thank God she was there because so she could be with him. But it was. Can you imagine that like happening to your kid?
No, not in the slightest. I mean, obviously we don't have kids, but like I
No,
just
but
can't even imagine that happening to like a sibling or
Yeah.
anything like somebody that close to you in your life. Like that is just insanity.
yeah. But dude,
Like-
just to watch that happen in real time,
Yeah, right in front of you.
dude, it
Nothing
was
you can do about it.
horrible.
I have a couple, real quick, a couple fuck yous to give out on this topic because they're needed. So I'll go first. The NFL, they told the
Specifically
teams that
Roger
they had 5 minutes to warm up and get back out there and play, and it was on the coaches, Sean McDermott and Zach Taylor, to tell the refs basically they're not going back out there. So Fuck the NFL for that.
Big
Number
time.
2, there's a couple different talking heads, and I know Skip Bayless is the one that everyone's going towards, and I'm sure we'll talk about him. But my second fuck you is towards Bart Scott from ESPN, who basically is blaming T. Higgins. And
Vince, I didn't even see that, man.
Yeah, that
he
really
came out and he said in a clip that
T. Higgins lowered his helmet.
Shouldn't have lowered his
Oh
helmet.
my god! What?
Which,
a
by the
classic
way,
piece
T.
of shit.
Higgins did not lower his helmet. It was a clean
No.
hit with
It
his
was a
shoulder
clean-
pads. It was unfortunate.
It was a clean routine hit that.
So, fuck
just-
you to that guy and anyone else that blames T. Higgins. And my last fuck you is to anyone that is using this moment as a political moment to be like, oh, was it the vaccine? Was he vaccinated?
just awful
No,
people.
Those people are the biggest mongrels, pieces of shit in the world at the moment.
The one thing
well said.
that really struck me was that even Nick Adams, the alpha male guy, even he literally tweeted, "Don't make this into a political thing. Somebody almost just died."
That's how
And I
you
was
know.
like, "What
it's-
the fuck is happening?"
Yeah,
The
and
most
I mean-
sensible guy, or the most nonsensible guy, just made an extremely sensible point.
It's
Like,
just-
what the
it's
fuck?
just-
like,
It's just
It's
dangerous
scary.
because, like, last night you have Tucker Carlson going on the most watched news program in the whole country and spreading this lie about how it could have been the vaccine, or maybe it was the vaccine. It's just, that whole thing is bullshit. It's disgusting, and they need to fucking stop.
No, I agree with you, but I will say this, and there's a lot of negative stuff around this, like including everything you just mentioned. That's true. That's going on, but I think one of the positives that is coming out of this is you see people from all across the world, not just the U.S., all across the world, reaching out on social media, pray for him. send
Yeah, I mean,
positive
his
thoughts to him.
GoFundMe for a toy drive is up to $4 million now. So
no, it's over
there's
6
definitely
now.
yeah.
and
So
it
it's not
started-
all
His goal was 2,500, I believe.
so
Yeah,
it's
that
not all
was
negative.
4
There
years
have been
ago.
some positives.
I mean, but like I was moved personally by just seeing the outpouring of love that is being shown towards him in this situation and his family.
Yeah.
By the way, big shout out to the Bengals organization too, because and McDermott too, because those two guys. What's the Bengals coach's name? I forget his name.
Zach.
Zach Taylor. Those two guys, like in that situation where you literally have zero experience, like unprecedented situation.
Mhm.
The way those two guys handled it, and the
Phenomenal.
I mean, just unbelievable in a time of literal horror. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a horrifying, tragic moment that is going on there. And I just think those guys did such a great job at bringing their team together.
Yeah. One more
Today,
thing
Zach
to
Taylor literally came out and said in his press conference at practice, he said, "I went over to Sean, and the first thing he said to me is, I need to be in the hospital with him.
Yeah.
So we need to call this."
Wow.
And Zach right away was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
It's unbelievable.
So I mean, it's great to see how much they care about their players. and
Yeah,
how
I
much
mean,
they treat
it
their
would just be
teammates.
completely dangerous to
Yeah.
let the players out there, because in a game like football, you have to be on the field mentally and physically. And there's no way anyone on the Bills, at least, would be able to be there mentally while their teammate is possibly dying.
and that just makes me sick. And Roger Goodell we know that he's a fraud. We know that he is the owner's little puppet, because I mean that's what commissioners
He doesn't
are.
care about player safety. They
But when have
don't
you
care
ever
about
seen
player
him?
safety.
When have you ever seen him on the forefront, taking those calls, addressing the community, addressing the NFL, addressing his franchises? When do you ever see his face? Instead, he sends his little minion. What the hell's his name, Taylor?
That's what
the-
I'm trying to look for that guy's
The
name.
the
right
second
now.
in line, the president of football operations,
Troy Vincent.
Troy Vincent. He's sending Troy Vincent, who's a liar anyway.
Yeah, I mean that was complete. I was literally just about to bring that up. Like,
Yeah,
that was
it's-
complete bullshit.
It
He was like,
sick.
"Oh yeah, no, we never put that out there." And it's like
Yeah.
right in the clip, Joe Buck says the NFL has just phoned it in, blah blah blah, that they're gonna do the 5. And it's like, dude,
And Troy Vincent owes Joe Buck and ESPN an apology, because what Troy Vincent's doing is insinuating that they just made that up,
yeah,
which is not true. We know that it came from the league. We know that Joe Buck has been a professional announcer for God knows
yeah,
how
he wouldn't
long.
just do that.
He is the consummate pro. He would
I'll-
not just report false information, and he
I'll give
verifies his
ESPN
sources.
I'll give ESPN some props too, because I know that it's like everyone, even we were like kind of like, oh, booger, like, but I feel like they actually did the best that they could with that
I think
situation.
in retrospect, Booger was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm gonna get on ESPN for, and any other network for, is constantly showing the player reactions.
Yeah.
Like, there's no need for that. It's a raw moment. Like, imagine if one of your coworkers died at work and someone is shoving a camera in your face, or like even had a stroke or maybe died. Like, and you have a camera in your face, and they keep replaying and playing your reaction for everyone in the country to see.
Well, I still think it's immoral for them to, like, even when somebody like tears an ACL or twists their ankle up pretty bad, like people say, hey, listen, stop showing that. We don't want to see that. This man's heart stopped.
Yeah.
He died, and they're going to keep showing this and the players' reactions and everything else. A traumatizing event that, and you know what it is? It's like people, they think people want to see that shit. Like, they think that it's good for ratings. That's why they do it. And it's kind of like taking advantage of a tragedy, of a tragic situation. And honestly, man, like, I know it's all about Damar right now, and it should be. But I'm thinking about all those players, his teammates, and the opposition included. Like, dude, how are they even going to play on Sunday, which they're scheduled to? I have no idea how I could do it. And don't bring up money. Don't bring up that's their job. This is a traumatizing event that none of those guys have ever witnessed before in their entire lives. They've never
and I
seen
mean,
anything
I
like
was
it.
I was listening to the Kelsey Brothers podcast today. They released like a short episode regarding everything that's happened. And like, you can tell that this is going to affect everyone league wide, even if it has nothing to do with the Bills.
The first play on Saturday is going to be it's going to be pretty insane, and it's going to be, for me, it's going to be kind of cringeworthy to watch. Like, I don't even know if I'm ready for football. Like, and personally, because that's how like traumatizing
this has
that
been
shit was.
a very bad year for the NFL as far as their whole player safety bullshit. Because first of all, they act like they care about player safety, but then they vote for another game. And then, like, on top of that, you have Tua's incident, and now this.
Multiple incidents.
Yeah, multiple incidents with Tua, and now this, and plus the whole, they tried to get them to go back out there and play the game.
Yeah. It's well, I mean, they're showing their true colors. There have been backlash. There has been backlash, I should say, against the NFL for the way they handle things like this, especially player safety.
Football's got to die off at some point, right?
But now I think it's a little more known that, hey, listen, look at how immoral these guys are. They just care about money at the end of the day. That's all they care about. They don't care about player safety. You had Joe Biden get asked. I don't know why they asked him. I guess because it's such a national story. So they asked Joe Biden about it, and he basically was asked, like, do you think football is getting too dangerous? He goes, no. Like, they have new helmets now and concussion protocol. I'm like, yeah, but they don't follow concussion protocol.
And he also,
who among us is gonna?
That's true. He's probably in their pockets too.
Are any of you guys gonna let your kids, if you have kids, when they play football? Because I'm not.
No, I think Mr. and Mrs. O'Leary. Well, it was really Mrs. O'Leary, right? She made that decision.
This season
I think
alone,
she made a good decision.
This season alone, you have someone potentially, hopefully not, dying on the field, and the Tua videos where he's on the ground like convulsing and his fingers are twisting, and Nick Foles.
Yeah, Nick Foles.
The thing though, the strange thing about this situation though, Vince, is the injury itself that Damar suffered from is such like a rare event. If it is what some doctors have been speculating that it is. Like, you have to get hit in the chest at the perfect time. It's got to be a perfect storm because it has something to do with like the rhythm of your heart. Like, it has to be pumping in or pumping out, and has to be a direct shot at the perfect speed. So, is there anything the NFL can do to prevent something like that? No, I don't think there is. There could be a better chest protector, but I don't know. I mean, for a fact these guys, they don't like to wear pads. They want less pads. Most of them do. You see it every year. There's less and less padding, it seems like. But I think after something like this, the league has to try to do something. We know they won't. But as far as this situation, though, Vince, like, I'm not sure if there was anything else they could have done to protect him. But I think the reaction to the whole thing was bizarre. And also, it's still a bad look if it's the NFL's fault or not, because of their history this season with Tua and now this situation, some guy's heart stopping on the field. It is a bad look. But I don't know, man. It's kind of terrifying, dude. Like,
I don't see how the Bills take the field until they know this, Hamlin is all right.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I mean, what about Diggs going right to he Ubered from the stadium to the hospital, and he walked right in, and he wasn't allowed in at first because the guy didn't know who he was, I guess, but he said, that's my teammate, I have to be in there. with him. So it's like, dude, these guys are not like they're not ready to play football. They can't be. It's literally impossible. I've never seen Josh Allen like. Did you ever see anyone's face like that? Like, dude, he was just like absolutely horrified.
Distraught. Yeah.
I mean,
So,
like,
so how do you take the field like 6 days later, not knowing what's going on? Now, if there's updates with Damar and like he's a little more out of the woods, or you get a better news, maybe. But still, I don't know how they do it if it's still unknown.
it's shocking for players because, like Jason Kelsey said on the podcast today, they're used to seeing guys, get the wind knocked out of them or guys be down. But we're talking about a guy who got CPR for 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once you use
that-
the word CPR, I mean,
Yeah.
that's how you. By the way, that's how you end the game. They were going. That's what pisses me off about the NFL. They had every intent to finish that game
Mm-hmm.
after a man's heart stopped on the field and they revived him on the field. They were ready to play football. Like how and I know money, I know that. But how immoral can you get? It's like
Nothing surprises me, honestly, with them.
it's
just
insane. Like 5 minutes didn't come out of nowhere. You know that came from New York?
Yeah, 100%.
Came from Goodell.
It's the normal protocol.
It's the normal protocol for an unprecedented event.
Well,
This-
I'm just saying that's just the default protocol.
I'm just saying, like, and people said, remember that I think it was a Chiefs player who was involved in like a murder suicide. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Taylor? It was either the Chiefs or
A
Washington.
retired player?
Yeah, well, yeah, he killed himself.
No, like retired, like he wasn't active when it happened?
No, I'm pretty sure he was on the active roster.
No, then I don't know.
Yeah, he was on the active roster, and it wasn't that long ago. I think it was 2012. He like went crazy and like killed his girlfriend, then drove to the facility, drove to the stadium, was stopped by the GM and the head coach, and he blew his brains out.
I need to
and
Google this.
They played the next day. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure it was Kansas City, Vince.
I know a Saints player that did something similar. I think that's it.
But the really tragic part about that, and they played the next day. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Jovan Belcher.
yes,
Chiefs
that's one. Kansas
linebacker.
City, right?
Yes.
Kansas City, yeah. That is an absolute crazy story, and they found out that he was suffering from CTE, and like they it's just like, but they played the next day.
People are not going to want to play football in the future. I know that it's like, it just so happened to be the perfect time. There was nothing they could have done. And like, I know that football has always been the way it is now, but like, I don't see how people are going to consistently want their kids to play a sport where like they know they could die on the field or like all this shit. Like it's just
I think there's always going to be football players because number one, everybody, like a lot of people obviously love football.
But
And
it's also a way to get out of bad situations.
and it's a way to get rich pretty fast. If you're talented enough, you'll get paid. You'll get paid like life changing money.
It's a way to get an education.
I don't think
The
this is
entire-
going to happen. I don't think this is going to change until like 20 years.
Yeah, no, but I just
I think
foresee
that's
that
even
I just
very-
foresee football always being around, and I think that they're going to take these injuries are going to get worse. The brain damage is going to get worse and worse. They're going to find more out about CTE and probably
Mm-hmm.
find other diseases too, and they're working on that to figure out what actually goes on with these guys after they retire. But listen, I think that love for the game is always going to be here. It is literally a huge part of this country. It's a big part of like bringing people together, of culture. Like everyone, like imagine Philadelphia without the Eagles. You can't. You know what I mean? Like
No,
it's
yeah.
so like
it's such a huge part.
it's
of the
just who
culture
we
here.
are.
Yeah.
And I don't think the people would allow it to go away, honestly. And plus, they're making way too much money.
My question is just that like who is going to play the sport?
Well, like I said, I mean,
There's always
just-
gonna be
there's
someone.
Too many people that need that as a way to get out of a bad.
But like if you're
situation.
a really great athlete, why not just go play basketball?
No, I understand.
Yeah,
but
Might
I
not
get
have the
that,
body
but
type.
You also, you have to be 6 foot plus to play basketball, pretty much, if not 6'5" plus at this point.
But it's crazy. A
Like-
lot of these guys that are NFL players, like part of the reason why they like playing is because it's dangerous,
Yeah,
and they get a
it's an
rush.
adrenaline
They get a
rush.
rush from it,
Yeah.
and that's they always played football. That's who they are.
I mean, adrenaline junkie. That's one thing. It's like people. That's just you're
Yeah.
addicted to adrenaline.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what-
true.
what's-
Yeah, no, but I just don't
And
think.
you could be doing a lot more dangerous shit than that.
Yeah.
If you're an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
But still.
I mean, look what happened to Roy Halladay. That literally came out that he was an adrenaline junkie, and that's why he liked to fly planes and
Yeah.
shit and do like tricks with the planes. So yeah, I mean that's also a thing too. But I don't know, man. Like
I mean, the biggest thing, and I think a big reason why you're seeing a lot more injuries in today's NFL is just because the talent level has gone up immensely over the past probably 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, you have so much better ways of kids training from a younger age, and they just become
People are
freaks of
bigger and
nature.
stronger,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
People are
and
bigger and
that's the other
stronger
thing
now.
too. Like, humans are, in general, I mean, it sounds fucking weird for me to say this, but humans in general are evolving,
Yes.
becoming bigger, becoming taller. Like, fucking half the younger generation is like 6'5" now.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
dude.
it's
I
insane.
must have
Tell
missed
me
out
about
on that.
Yeah, I definitely missed out on that one. But as far as the NFL going anywhere, I understand what you're saying, Vince. Like, I would never allow my children to play football at this point. I've just seen way too many injuries.
I don't want.
I remember, dude. I remember in CYO, like 8th grade football. Like, I was a lineman. I got hit in the head like all the time, and I always saw stars. I just thought
Yeah.
that was normal.
I don't want
Like-
anyone listening to this think that I'm like being like a softie or I'm calling for the end of the NFL. I'm just saying I foresee at some point, maybe 20, 30 years down the line, enough people are going to be like, I don't want my kids playing football,
That's
and
fair.
no one's playing it.
That's fair. No, I understand where you're
I
coming
doubt
from,
that.
but I just
also
don't.
highly doubt it,
I just
but,
don't think that's gonna.
It's too
I don't
lucrative.
think that'll
Yeah.
happen. I think what they're going to try to do is they're going to put Mickey Mouse rules in, like, and label them as safety rules. And in reality, it's not going to help at all. And I think
But
that's
it'll
just how.
save face until it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. That's just what the NFL does. They just keep carrying on despite tragedies happening, and they don't think it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, obviously, all of our prayers are with Damar and or thoughts or whatever you do are with
Vibes.
Damar, because it's I don't even know, like, dude. I tried to like rewatch it and stuff because I was like, dude, what the fuck? Because that's such like a freak thing, man. On a national audience, it's I don't know, it's horrible. Like, I've never seen anything like that before. No one has. But people are talking about the basketball player that died on the court. Taylor, what was his name?
The college player that had like a heart attack.
Yeah, like people were talking about him a lot. It's like, but it's so rare.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, the first thing it reminded me of was Ryan Gilliard at Prep,
Yeah,
because I was a kid I went to grade school with, and it was like it was literally in the middle of a summer during a practice, and he had a pre-existing heart condition that nobody knew about, but he literally just collapsed in the middle of practice, and that was it.
and that was
Dead right on the pitch right there.
Yeah,
Hank Gathers.
Hank Gathers. Yeah,
I remember the coach played like a super high up tempo offense, and the kid just ended up having a heart attack in the middle of the game.
That's so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's so insane. Like, when you see stuff like that happen. Like, I remember, I don't remember because I think it was like a year or two before I was born. It might have been longer than that. But there was an umpire named John McSherry who was working as the home plate umpire opening day and literally dropped dead. Literally dropped dead. Major League Baseball canceled that game right away. And that is an umpire. So, I mean, the NFL is just a disgrace.
Yeah, you know what happened if that happened in an NFL game? They'd have one of the auxiliary judges.
Oh
come
yeah,
in
they would
right away.
they would come out of the booth
Fucking-
or the retired guy that's always on the air with Joe Buck that
No,
is
they
the
have
expert.
they have auxiliary referees always on the
Yeah.
sidelines, just in case somebody gets injured.
Well, they would definitely utilize that.
They would just plug him right in and get that guy out of the field.
If somebody
Not
like
a single
died,
doubt in my mind.
no, there's
Yeah.
no doubt in the world. But yeah, dude, that I don't even know how to move on from that. It's because it's so like, it's just I don't know. I don't even know how to.
It's bizarre.
I don't know how to talk about it either. It's devastating. Like
Yeah.
I'm just really sad about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the whole country is. But
Yeah.
we're definitely pulling for him. This is a weird turn of events because I'm gonna bring up something.
Well, we were just talking about umpires in baseball.
Yeah, so that kind of made me think of like the Phillies signing a free agent. Taylor, did you hear?
What?
The Phillies signed a free agent. He's the active Major League Baseball saves leader. His name's Craig Kimbrell.
Never heard of him.
He's pretty washed right now.
Yeah,
but-
never heard of him.
Yeah, so listen, I don't know what's going on. I trust Dave Dombrowski.
Was he in the MLB in 2012?
Yes.
He was.
In 2012, probably. Yeah, he's been around forever.
Okay.
He's the
Years.
he
Was
leads.
that when you stopped paying
Yeah,
attention?
I was going to say that if he was, that's about where my radar. is.
he's the Braves all-time.
Yeah, he was a
saves
Braves
leader.
guy for years.
Yeah, I don't think I watched a lot of Braves games.
Nah,
back then.
you're more of a Marlins
Real quick, before we move on to
Tigers.
baseball and Phillies, shout out to Jason Kelsey and the Eagles because I'm reading just now that they are launching a new social justice campaign with the goal of reducing gun violence in Philly. They are donating $400,000 to 9 local nonprofit organizations that target violence prevention and financial education. And Jason Kelsey was quoted saying, "A lot of gun violence is directly correlated with poverty, and I think you can address both." So shout out to them.
Yeah, that's very
stuff.
good. And you've heard Jalen Hurts talk a lot about the gun violence in the city, and now he wants to be a part of the change. So
And I'm glad. I'm
it's
very
close,
glad to
it's
hear.
close to like a lot of those guys' hearts.
I'm just very glad to hear Jason Kelsey acknowledging the fact that is a lot of the gun violence is directly tied to poverty in the city. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wish they could call it representatives.
yeah. Well, you know who I call when there's problems in the city? The Eagles, because the Eagles are there more than our government
Yeah,
officials are.
Let's have the professional players bail out a fucking epidemic of the
Who,
city.
who do you trust more with like just like the city's tax dollars? Mayor Nutter or Kenny?
Oh, Mayor Nutter for sure.
He's running again apparently. By the way, dude, I got so
saw that
excited.
report.
I can't wait until
He was horrible. I can't wait.
But dude, when when it snows out, he gets on that megaphone. And he's like, shovel your house now, and stop annoying your neighbors. But he went to prep.
Yeah.
He's a prepsman.
Him and Kenny.
Yeah, and oh boy, oh wow, yeah. I was talking to
It's
never
all
mind.
right. The OG Philly fanatic did too. So.
That's true. So Vince, thoughts on Craig Kimbrell?
I mean, I genuinely don't know because
He doesn't
like,
care.
no, it's just that like he's been bad, but like I
Yeah.
know that overall he's good.
No, but the
Why
weird,
did you bring this up?
James comes back and goes, "Yeah."
no, but the weird thing is like
You don't even care.
people said he was washed last season.
You don't care.
But he had like a 3.25 ERA. That's considered wash for him because he's so good.
Yeah, but if you're a closer, you don't want a fucking ERA above 3.
Dude, his walk-in music is "Let It Go." Let it go. That's his walk-in music.
Oh, I
Pat.
hate that.
Pat,
Oh,
how,
Dude,
why'd
it's
you
way
have to
better than
fucking tell me that?
how much does Seamus actually care about the signing?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
He's secretly.
No, I don't
You-
know.
I think he's secretly angry about it, but he wants to trust Dombrowski.
Well, dude, here's the problem. I wanted the Phillies to get Craig Kimbrell like 7 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Like seriously.
No,
like,
I agree.
I've been
Bro,
wanting
he was
this
the cream
guy.
of the crop. He was
The
like the
Sixers
Brian
should have
Wilson.
got Al Horford 7 years ago.
Dude, it's the same thing. Like
This
I
is
just-
like
Al
them
Horford's
bringing
better
in.
now.
This is like them bringing in Jose Batista.
Oh, dude, that's another thing. Dude, when
Or Juris Familia.
oh my god, it's like these guys were great at one time, but now they're not.
Or
like how-
Taiwan Walker.
or-
yeah.
please,
Wait,
God,
so-
I'm hoping that he is not a nightmare.
I hope so.
Dombrowski,
I have a feeling he's going to be though.
Dombrowski is Glenn Rivers?
No, I mean I would
No,
go.
no, that's Rob Thompson. Rob Thompson is.
No,
good.
don't
No,
don't you
bring in-
dare.
Oh,
Depending on
terms of
players
old men.
that were good like
Yeah,
8 years
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, but at least Dombrowski also signed Trey Turner. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. He's in his 30s. So.
James Harden?
He signed him for 11
Yeah,
years.
James
you know.
Harden.
all right, so what?
He's
James
gonna be
Harden.
like 45.
James Harden is having a career year right now. Not a career year,
No,
but he's.
he's
I
not.
know that. I know, but he's having a he's having a nice year. Okay,
In terms of assists, he
Oh,
is.
God.
he's having a nice year. He's better than what he could have been. You know
What?
He's better.
Bro, I
than,
don't-
He could have
Seamus,
been passing to
stop.
Kyrie and KD and fucking averaging like 17 assists a night.
Yeah, all of a sudden the Nets are fucking juggernauts.
He's kicking himself.
dude. I can't do this show today.
And we gave them the one thing they needed, defense.
Oh my God,
Ben
he
Simmons
goes
is a
Ben Simmons.
monster in that system.
Oh my God, stop
They won the trade.
with your Ben Simmons.
They
I
won the trade.
I'd rather
If we
they
don't
won
win
the
a
trade.
chip, if we don't win a chip, they won the trade.
What if
Literally.
they
I
don't
lo-
win a chip?
I love sitting back and slowly
No problem
watching the
solved.
chat realize like how right I've been.
I wouldn't go
What
there
were you
yet.
right about?
I wouldn't go there yet.
The fact that they will never achieve anything,
Oh, yeah.
No, I
That's
just
true.
I'm out.
So trade Joel Vince?
and not only
Well, he
will
doesn't he doesn't
not
play
on-
anymore
hold on.
anyway. So.
not only will the Sixers not achieve anything because made probably of their coach, their dumbass idiot coach who's like the biggest mush in the world also guaranteed an Eagles Super Bowl appearance, so he can go
Who?
fuck himself. Doc Rivers.
When?
His presser on, I think it was Wednesday, he comes in, he goes, they asked him something about the Eagles and injuries, and he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I guarantee you a Super Bowl.
Ugh.
And he said I guarantee it
Guaranteed.
like twice.
He
And I was
guaranteed
like, I
it.
was like, oh, no.
There's no way
They're not-
we're winning
they're
the Super
not
Bowl
They're
now.
not even making the Super Bowl this year now.
No.
by the way-
We're losing in the first round. We're not even making the second.
By the
round.
way, Montrezl
we're gonna
Harrell
lose on Sunday, and then we're gonna fucking lose against fucking Tom Brady and Tampa Bay.
Montrezl Harrell has 12 points.
Yeah, he
Harrell.
hasn't missed a shot.
James Harden has 16.
They're
Harold.
up 66-61 at the half.
16, 2 rebounds, 6 assists for James Harden. Tower, keep talking. Keep talking that smack over there, buddy boy. Keep talking.
The Nets are on a 13-game winning streak.
We had an 8-game winning streak. Who cares? It's early in the season. They're going to fall down to earth. I'm telling you.
It's getting into not early in the season territory.
I know. Somebody's going to tear their ACL. Okay, one of those.
Oh my
guys
God!
You watch a Nets game and you tell me that's not going to destroy the Sixers.
If Kevin Durant gets hurt, they're done.
Joel
Embiid,
Embiid, like
Sixers
what?
actually do match up very well with the Nets.
I think they do too. I think
in a 7-game series, I think we win.
I think we beat their ass. In
the likelihood
their
that Joel
ass.
Embiid gets hurt is pretty much on par with the likelihood that Kevin Durant gets hurt.
And Kyrie.
That's fair. But at least Harden.
Well, no, Kyrie not hurt. Kyrie maybe like he'll get into some weird political
dude,
situation.
Hurt at like the same.
Kyrie's gonna join. Kyrie's gonna join a terrorist organization.
He's gonna find wherever Kanye's been.
Yeah. Dude, I could see Kyrie like plotting to do something bad.
He blows up the Barclays Center.
Can you imagine?
He walks in with a bomb in his stomach. He kills the entire Nets team.
Kyrie went. It was at that point where he went too far. They should have shipped him to Europe or something. There's free thinkers over there. Let him free think in Europe. He's ruining the league. I thought he ruined the Nets, but he's helping them.
Well, Jonathan Isaac, he's a pretty. They should have shipped him to Orlando. Him and Jonathan Isaac would have been balling out.
Oh, man.
Fun fact about Jonathan Isaac, he hasn't played at the NBA since he was 21. He is now 29 years old, and he's still on an NBA contract. With
Dude, that's
Orlando
actually
Magic.
insane, dude. That's crazy.
All he does now is just go on book tours for his extremely awful right wing books. Yeah,
dude, that's pretty cool though.
It's hysterical, honestly.
Hell of a lane.
What a fall
for him.
What a fall from grace.
Yeah.
So all that to tell you, Kimbrel, I don't know how they're going to use him. I don't know if they're using him in the 7th inning, 8th inning.
What's Craig Kimbrell's politics? Any chance?
That's probably not good. Did you look
He
at him?
plays,
Wait,
he plays baseball.
Who's got the worst politics in this Phillies locker room?
Maybe Bryce Harper.
Really?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably. He's a Mormon.
Schwarbs. I mean, Schwarbs has a.
I could see
Schwarbs. I feel like
I don't know,
he's
man.
a little.
Did you ever see his charities?
Go ahead.
It's like all police stuff, which is good. Like that's fine, but
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
think-
You don't have to sugarcoat it.
no, yeah,
They make
it's
enough.
probably
They make
not
it.
good.
They make enough money.
No, but also the firefighters get help too.
That's
which I
good.
like. Yeah, that's good.
Firefighters
and
deserve all the respect
We
in the
like
world.
that thin red line, baby.
Yeah, we're big fans
So,
of that.
so whose politics are bad on the Phillies? Let's go.
It would
through
be
the
a shorter
outfield.
list to say whose politics are good.
Hold on,
Brandon Marsh's are definitely good.
You think so?
because he was a huge fucking pothead in college.
Yeah, he's got the vibes too, and
Yeah.
he puts oil.
hippie.
He puts oil on his
Reese
hair.
Hoskins.
Let's go,
100%
Brandon.
Great politics because his
Well,
wife.
no.
Yes,
yeah.
you know it's right too. You
Probably.
know it's right.
Yeah, he lives.
You know he probably has the best politics. Him and Stubbs probably have the best politics on that entire.
Oh, I don't
team.
know about Stubbs.
Bro, he helped pick dancing on my own.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, all right. So, let's go to the JT. I'm worried about.
Well, JT.
Oh,
yeah,
come
he's
on,
already- he's an
JT.
anti-vaxxer.
JT's anti-vax.
JT, I'm a little concerned.
Are there any Cubans on the team?
There's a guy named Coonrod on the team, and that should go to tell you his politics. I think he's,
What do you mean by that?
dude, his name's Sam Coonrod. Is that not the whitest, hickiest name you've ever heard in your entire life? Connor Brogdon worries me too.
Oh, he's definitely He's
Alvarado, I
Aaron
don't
Nola,
know.
we already
What
know.
about
His
incoming
wife's
Philly
name
Trey
is Hunter.
Turner?
Trey Turner's best friends with Harper,
Yeah.
probably right wing. Also
But-
a
But he
billionaire.
has been out in Cali for a little while.
Yeah,
You
maybe it
never
changed
know.
him.
You never know.
Who's got better politics, Carson Wentz or Bryce Harper?
Bryce
Probably
Harper.
Carson Wentz, honestly.
You think so?
Whoa.
Didn't Wentz force
Bryce
baptisms?
Harper is a Mormon.
Oh,
Bro, but
yeah, he-
Carson Wentz-
Yeah, he believes
They
in
are the
magic
fucking
underwear.
worst.
Dude, did
Are
you
you
see
sure
the?
Wentz isn't a Mormon?
Did you
Wentz
see
is
the shoes
Catholic.
Carson
Oh,
Wentz
God.
had made for his family for Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah,
That
it's
in and of
overrated.
itself is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, that's horrible. By the way, he got benched. I feel like we should mention that
Oh
for the
yeah.
for
I
what
mean,
the
Sam Howell, baby. Let's
the-
fucking
He got
Third time.
Carson Wentz got benched for what, like the third time this season?
yeah, it's the third time. He's done.
Commanders country.
He's
Let's
done.
ride.
Like he's not a backup. He's done. Like
Somebody-
after this
somebody's-
season, he's
Yeah,
done.
he'll probably be a backup somewhere.
I don't know.
Somebody's,
Yo.
somebody's taking a flyer on him.
I think the
guarantee.
He'll be
I think if the
Minshew's
Falcons-
backup.
No, I don't know. He's gonna go to Tampa Bay.
Panthers.
He's gonna go to
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Panthers.
I think maybe Carson Wentz gets a shot on a team if they invent a new team and they need a quarterback.
The XFL, yeah.
Can we also
I think he's done.
Can we also talk about how funny it is that the Commanders unveiled their new mascot and it's a hog, and it's very funny just because their nickname is the commies and it's commie pigs, you communist pigs.
Wait, what?
They should have just gone with the hogs or the pigskins.
Red
dude.
Hogs.
Wait, the
Yeah.
communist pigs? What is that?
No, I'm just saying, like,
It's just a
no,
thing
people always say, like, oh,
you
fuck.
commie pigs.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
What, you know?
Yes, that was a thing.
Really?
Bro, what, are you-
Yes.
What,
I'm
dude,
with
I
you.
wasn't
Are you a
around
boomer?
in the 1800s.
Yeah, but this is like the 1950s.
All right, dude. Dude, what do you think? I know.
You love the
McCarthy too?
1950s.
Yeah, what?
You
You're
think
a
I-
fucking boomer. You should know all of this stuff. The 70s movies and shit. Like Hollywood was run by the communists. The Red Scare.
No, I know the Reds. You said a pig.
Yeah, commie,
commie
pigs.
pigs.
That's not a thing.
Yes, it is.
All right, is that
This
a
is
thing?
your worst
610-731-471137. Colin, are the communist pigs a real thing?
All right, real quick. Worst politics: Carson Wentz or Riley Cooper?
Oh my God.
I don't know. That's a hard one. They're pretty much the same person.
Well, Riley Cooper is on film saying a racial slur. So I've never heard Wentz say a racial
At a
slur.
Kenny Chesney concert.
At a Kenny Chesney concert.
So is that why he played him?
Oh boy, this has come full circle. No, I wanted
We've
to
got Seamus cornered now.
I wanted to play a song that Pat likes because if I was going to ask Vince what he liked, but it would probably be something that I don't like.
Kid.
Yeah, it'd probably be Little Keem, or whatever the hell his name is.
Little Keed.
Akeem Olajuwon's a rapper now. No, I don't know, dude. Like, listen. I tried to get into Vince's music. I can't do it. I just
You did.
You liked the
did-
albums.
No, but because you sent me good ones. Like if I listen to your everyday music,
You don't like Baby Keem?
No, I don't even know who that is, dude. All I know is that he died from
No,
like
He's not
some-
dead.
Oh, who died?
That was a different one.
Lil Seamus, ready? I'm gonna say it slowly. There's Baby
Juice
Keem,
box.
who is alive and well, and
Baby
there's
Keem's
Lil Keed, who is dead.
What the hell is a Keed? Keed?
kid.
What is that?
He's a little
I don't
kid.
know.
Keed.
Why not spell it Kiid?
'Cause that's boring.
All right, man. Listen, I'm sorry about that, Vince. But I just can't get into it. I know Eric's devastated by his loss. So thoughts and prayers. By the way, Eric has COVID, and we want to wish him a speedy recovery.
Bro, that's a HIPAA violation.
And by the way, Vince probably has it too because he got it New Year's and he was with all those people. So thank God you didn't come today.
What are you doing right now?
I'm just exposing you.
Just being reckless.
Just being reckless. I'm feeling a little reckless today. All right, thanks, Vince.
I don't think Vince is enthused.
Like all I wanted to do was talk about Craig Kimbrell and the signing and where he could potentially pitch out of the bullpen. And then Taylor goes, "Well, what are the politics of?"
Oh, you love that.
Sir
Shut up.
Anthony.
You loved that.
All right,
Oh, I
get-
do
get-
wonder what the Sir Anthony politics are.
It's
though.
probably weird.
Yeah.
He seems like a weird guy. Like I love him, but he just something seems
He's a
weird.
libertarian.
Yeah, he's probably like a Ron
Lives
Paul
in the
guy.
woods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Him and Minshew hang out in the van all summer.
he's the president of the Libertarians and the Dominican. That's what he did.
Anarcho-socialist.
Yeah. So
What are
Taylor,
Gardner Minshew's politics?
probably
Oh
bad.
God.
No, I don't know.
Party.
He lived in a van. He lived in a van. And that's like a liberal thing. Like I guarantee you, more liberals have lived in vans than conservatives. I would almost guarantee.
What a
that.
weird leap.
Well, because like you think about it, most conservatives are conservative for the richness, and if you're rich, you're not going to live in your van. Now, a lot of liberals are working class, you know, so they might live in their van at one point in life. They might have gotten laid off from Lowe's or something and had to
All
like
right, what else you got?
ask me something else. I'm a little rusty. It's been a long break. Ask me something else about politics, Taylor, and then I'll throw it off of Vince.
No, I actually do kind of want to talk about where Kimber will even come out of because, like, I don't want him closing at all.
I think the seventh.
I have zero desire for him to close.
All right, so you leave Sir Anthony Dominguez in the ninth, or do you put Alvarado in the ninth?
Well, so here's the thing that there's an article that came out earlier that I forget who it was that put it out, but Rosenthal retweeted. It was one of the Phillies.
Gelb,
beat
probably.
writers. Yeah, it was Gelb actually. Yeah, he's basically said that the Phillies' plan is to kind of like they did last year to keep the ninth inning fluid.
All right. Listen,
I don't know.
I'm more of
it's so weird. to me.
defined role guy.
Yeah, I'd rather have that, but also it's like it did kind of work last year.
Yeah, until Alvarado,
Yeah,
gave up the game-winning home run to Jordan.
yeah. So I mean, I definitely would like a guy that's as consistent as possible in there. I think Sir Anthony honestly should be that guy.
I think he earned it.
Yeah.
But you also have to look at guys like who, if they don't win a rotation spot out of spring training, guys like Bailey Falter who are going to be out there in the bullpen.
Yeah, but he's not fucking closing. Fuck that dude.
No, I mean, listen, I didn't like Zach Eflin closing either, to be honest.
No,
with
I
you.
hated Zach Eflin closing.
It worked a couple times other times it got out of hand.
Barely worked.
But I don't think that Craig Kimbrell's coming here to be the Phillies closer.
That's the last thing I want from him. How much money did they give him?
I think just 1 year, $10 million. I think that's not. It's fine.
Yeah, it's whatever.
But listen, like if he proves like in the high leverage situations that he gets put in that he has good stuff and he's like nasty again, throw him in the bullpen. And if he sticks or throw him in the closer role. If he stinks up the joint, move him.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a similar scenario to Jeurys Familia. I
hope it goes better than that.
If Jeurys Familia didn't pan out, you could do what they did.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be too much money. There's only a 1 year deal. If that happens with Kimbrell, I hope they cut the ties earlier than they did with Familia.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, dude, Joe Girardi used to throw him in every high leverage situation, and every time he would fail.
Yes.
Every single time. But he loves him because he's a veteran. He's been around for so long, and he played on a New York team.
Yeah.
Think about
Girardi,
that. Think about that.
Big New York guy.
Yeah, he is a big New York guy.
Probably big Frank Sinatra guy.
Our
too,
producer's giving us the home run whistle, which means we have to wrap things up here.
Very smooth.
I think he's got he must have a better guest coming in.
He's got a hot date.
But we were just a little rusty today because we've been on vacation. We haven't been doing this, and with Vince not in studio, kind of our spirits.
Yeah, sorry, I have no automobile.
Yeah,
my car has passed away in disgrace.
If anybody wants to buy Vince a car, his Twitter handle is @VLobiondo11.
Oh, your car's like completely dead?
That's not my Twitter, by the way. But no, yeah, my car. I was informed on Friday that my car is dead as fuck.
All right. Listen, I'm sorry to hear that, but you'll figure it out, man. You'll figure it out. If you ever need an Uber ride, I got you, buddy. Like if you ever want to go to the Popeyes, I got you. I'll send you an Uber. All right.
Well, I've been driving my dad's car.
All right, that's fine. All right, we got to wrap up here. We some final words is that the Eagles better win, and if they don't, kiss your Super Bowl aspirations.
If the Eagles don't win, I guess I'm gonna have to kill myself if anyone holds me to that.
Yeah, so
I will. It's written in blood.
If Vince isn't here next week, then you'll know.
At least my death will be like maybe good for content.
You won't die in vain. That's for sure.
Thank you, everybody. Go
See you next week, guys.
Go Sixers.
Live version. I love this version.